Morning, good morning. I woke up around 5 because that's how I roll. I usually go to sleep before or around 12, and then I wake up at like 5 or 6. That's just how I roll. So I was still celebrating my birthday yesterday, and there was all this bullshit coming out from all the React channels about Chantel and her trip, her 20-hour trip. She hasn't quite explained everything here because she keeps saying that the first leg of the trip was 12 hours and the commuter flight was like an hour to Kuwait, right? So that means she had to be what it was like Dubai or something, right? Um, she was there for like 6 or 7 hours. Sleep for like 6 or 7 hours. And when she got to Kuwait, it was hot. She needed a cool drink right away that was probably not great for her diabetes. It was like a cup of sugar. And there was nothing in the cupboards or the fridge when she got home. How is that possible? I mean, granted, she's been gone for roughly a month. Roughly a month. But do you guys remember all that fucking food that they bought like right before Ramadan? Some of it was perishable, so they probably had to throw it out, but a lot of it wasn't. So how the hell did that happen? That there's absolutely nothing there. Like he didn't even okay, Salah didn't even put water there or like vitamin water there or just I think that's the clearest indicator that he doesn't actually live in that apartment. Even if his diet is different than hers, like maybe he likes more fresh foods, like likes eating fruit and vegetables and things like that. That should have been in the fridge, right? But she said everything was bare and they have to do a grocery haul today, assuming that the timeline is accurate and this hasn't already happened because we never know with her when she's actually filmed. Well, I guess some of them are lives, but she's kind of lying about her timeline, right? I'll show you guys some pictures from my birthday party later. We went to I didn't want to say anything about like where we were going in case somebody wanted to try and like drop in and be like, "Oh my gosh, I watch you on YouTube." Right? But we went to Buca de Beppo in Huntington Beach. And I do not have a great review for the restaurant. Okay? I made the reservation like over a month ago, and I asked them to seat us in the Pope room. I was very specific about like how many people were going to be invited, how many people I thought would actually show up, and what were the limitations of the room, you know, things like that. And when I got there, everybody told me they didn't even work there last month. They had no idea that it was my 50th birthday party. They had a board, a chalkboard, um, at their check in desk that listed all of the people's birthdays. I wasn't listed. Before I even noticed this, my mom had words with them. Like, why isn't my daughter's name here? She's turning 50. We reserved the Pope room. So, apparently, some of my guests were sick. Some of my guests were out of town. Some of my guests had surgeries. So I ended up with a total of 5 people. And rather than just make different arrangements for us and seat us immediately, they had us in the waiting room for like over an hour. It was pretty bad, you guys. It's pretty bad. I did post a picture on Facebook of us just swinging by the Pope room, which it looked like it had been completely untouched. So they let that room be empty for the entire night, despite the fact that I had reserved it. I do have some leftovers. They put chicken saltimbocca back on the menu, which is my favorite protein dish that they have on the menu. I didn't have any last night because I was kind of slowly working my way through the gorgonzola apple salad. But I took all the leftovers home, so I'm gonna eat that over the weekend. And I did get a bottle of their Chianti. Um, and one of my friends helped me cork it because I don't have a lot of grip strength. So I have that to go through over the next week. Um, so it turned out fine. Um, but it was just like, what are you doing? Even like you don't even know the details of my reservation. You're being incredibly rude to me. The manager said you weren't even here on time. My mom and I actually showed up an hour early and we're sitting in the bar having a glass of water and a drink each. And we were waiting to get called up, but we got there an hour early because we don't live very close to that restaurant. And so we didn't know exactly what the traffic would be like getting up there. And that guy straight up lied to my face and said I wasn't there. So I did a little bit of rage. I had a little bit of rage that they screwed up my birthday so severely. But ultimately, it was a good time. The people that did show up are wonderful. Like all of my friends are wonderful people, but having the experience of being able to be with your friends on a special occasion is pretty cool, right? But yes, I've been watching the Chantel stuff, and there is what I would estimate a 7 hour gap of lack of story time for this layover, right? And it's pretty unexplainable that there was no food in the house when she got home. So, is that more proof that Salah doesn't even live there? Like, even if he has a different diet than she does, wouldn't his food be there? Wouldn't his food be there, right? Like fruit, vegetables and stuff if that's how he eats. And then she started going into on her live stream she started going into a rant about how he doesn't cook. Well, you don't have to cook if that's the kind of diet that you have, where it's like a raw diet. You don't have to be a talented cook to live off a raw diet, right? But I don't think he does. I think she made that up. And I'm just getting a little sick of all these people who fucking just make things up. They just make up stories to kind of excuse weird behavior. And it's like, why can't you just tell us the truth of the situation or just say nothing at all? Like, do you need to be a YouTube star? Do you need to have this sort of notoriety? Like, why are you making shit up? I don't get it. I don't know where my tissue is. Let me hold it. It's very hard for me to get up. That's another thing is that because I have like this permanent limp, anybody who wants to attack me can be like, well, you're drunk all the time. No, I have a permanent limp. Like, get the fuck over yourselves. Like, it's hard for me to walk. Is this really that confusing to you all? That it's hard for people to walk if they have a permanent limp? Where did I put my tissue? Oh, I found it. I found it. Okay, so let's look at the pictures. Oh, all right. I have leftover chicken saltimbocca, and I also have a little bit of the apple gorgonzola salad, and I also have um, the Chianti. So, you know how, okay, for those of you who have ever been to Buca di Beppo, they always give you like a free postcard picture. And then if you want some of the other pictures, you can buy them, right? So this is the postcard picture. I think I got that all in the frame. We were seated right next to the Pope room, so we did get a picture in the Pope room too. This is me and my mom, eh? My mom, eh? This was the group shot. Yes, there was definitely more people invited, but apparently there's some illness going around. Like, um, my one of my friends, her husband has like 103 temp right now. One of my friends had to fly out to Florida to be with her sister. And another of my friends just had a surgery because she has stage 0 breast cancer. But they have to remove it because you still can't let that go unchecked. It's got to. So she, had that going on. So And I want to thank my mom for buying all those. That was like part of her birthday gift to me. Because I turned 50, I was getting a lot of $50 bills. That was nice. It's all good. Let me see what your comment says. Um, she's been a liar from day one. She doesn't know how to speak the truth. Well, um, I know people like that, right? Who just randomly make up stories. I don't know what sort of pleasure they get in lying and making things up. But this is one of the reasons that I had to break up with my boyfriend because he does that. And it's even going to be a more severe consequence for him because he's constantly trying to run for political positions. I talked about this on Facebook yesterday because on Facebook, I have 6.7 thousand followers, and the majority of them are political contacts, and a lot of them are mutuals with him. But he also has accused me of having absolutely no status in politics and that I don't know anybody. And what I have found is that he has no national presence. I know people nationally, organizers throughout the country. And what I have found from observing him through the time that we were together is that he attends other people's events and just socializes. He's just trying to get clout from attending other people's events. But the events that he personally um, organizes are very small and ineffective. Why do I say that? I've been to Vegas with him 3 times while he was organizing labor rallies. I know his shit is small. Okay? Um, and I know he lies. I know that he makes shit up, just like Chantel. Chantel just like fucking like invents stories. That's what my boyfriend was doing as well. Like one of the stories he invented was that there was somebody really big and very important in politics who was spreading rumors about me. And I'm like, I don't even know anybody who fits that description. Who are you speaking of? Several months later, he admitted to me that he made it up to rile me up. And that's not the only story he did that with me, right? That's why I'm kind of having a cow over what he did over the last month, telling me that he finally was working with an attorney. He was going to get his wife to sign separation paperwork. Just, he had been telling me they were sleeping in separate bedrooms for 15 years, that they had a faux marriage. It was just for appearances so that he looked like the kind of guy that you'd want to elect, right? Like family man. So for the last month, he's been telling me he's been trying to work on these separation paperwork. And I'm realizing it's been several weeks now since he told me that to get me to speak to him again because I wasn't speaking to him at the time at all. I realized he made that up. That's another one of the stories. He fucking made that up. He's just like Chantel. He just makes shit up. That's not real. And when we were at dinner last night, one of my friends asked, well, do you think that now that you've put this online in front of so many mutuals and so many political contacts and stuff like that, do you see any sort of action coming out of that? And I'm like, well, probably not right now, but it's breadcrumbs. If he tries to run for something in the future and the Democratic Party wants to run a different candidate, my story is out there. I have gone through several lies with this individual who ran for mayor of Simi Valley and wants to run for either assembly or state house, state senator in his area. I know that these are his aspirations. And I'm sorry, but you can't constantly screw somebody else over, shit on them, tell them that they are less worthy than you. The reality is this: when he ultimately does get forced into that divorce situation, because I'm sure she will find out that I put the information out there, and I did it with receipts, pictures of us on Zoom, pictures of us like out there hanging out together, lots of pictures. So it's indisputable, right? Um, the reality is that when he has to split his assets with his wife, his net worth will be less than mine. So he can kiss my goddamn ass, right? Because he's constantly trying to say that I have no friends, that my family doesn't love me. These are things he's said to me as a boyfriend, you guys. And that nobody in the party wants to work with me, and that since I'm crippled, nobody's gonna want to date me. No, like I'm his only, like he's my only option, right? He's turning 60. I turned 50. He can go fuck himself. um, it might take me years to recover from the limp. It might take years, you guys. And there's a lot of people who want to use the limp as, oh my God, she's not walking straight. So therefore, she must be really out of it. No, I actually have a nerve condition in my left leg. It is difficult to walk. I've had the leg collapse on me, and so it's not as cut and dry. Anywho, it was a lovely dinner. I love their gorgonzola apple salad. It's so good, you guys. I might cover the foodie beauty stuff, but I'm kind of getting so bored with her bullshit lies. And especially after dealing with my ex boyfriend's crap about lying about trying to get a separation agreement with his wife. Um, I'm sick of liars, y'all. Sick of liars. He told me it was a fake marriage. 15 years in separate bedrooms. Dudes, if you don't want to be with your wife, fucking divorce them. Don't drag the rest of us into your drama. Don't do it. Don't drag us into your drama. He also had been telling me that we had chemistry all the way back to 4 years. I'm like, really? What are you talking about? Remember those Zoom meetings we had during coronavirus and we were doing karaoke and having conversations? This was like an entire group of activists. It wasn't just me and him, it was an entire group of activists. And quite frankly, I had no idea he was into me, and I certainly wasn't into him. And it wasn't until I asked him to help me organize my canvassers into a union that he started hitting on me super hard. So I had no idea this was going on. But to be like this, to be like calling me at 1:45 in the morning, I put text messages on Facebook if you guys want to go looking for it. He's been basically ruining like every holiday and birthday and special occasion for me for like the last 2 years. And last a week ago Thursday, he called me at like 1:45 in the morning, and I didn't take the call. I just lied in bed, right? And the next morning, I was like, 1:45. Are you for real? And he replied back, just sad. Okay, you were sad. Okay, 60-year-old man who's lying about getting a separation with your wife. You were just sad. Too fucking bad, right? So this has been my 50th birthday, you guys. This has been my 50th birthday. Hopefully, my uncle will call me next week and we'll do some sort of fun little day trip. But I'm so sick of liars, you guys. So it might take me a while to get to the Chantel bullshit, but there's a huge gap in her story time. 20-hour flight, right? She said it took 12 hours from Canada to, I think it was Dubai or Qatar or something like that, right? She also had some made up story of going through turbulence over the Titanic. God, I know people like her. I literally know people like her who just fucking invent stories. In fact, I had this birthday camping trip that I did with a couple of my high school buddies back in the 90s when my son was probably like 3 or 4. He was little, right? And I remember walking through Yosemite Village with one of my friends, and she said that if her father was there with her, he would make up an Indian legend about what had happened in this specific location. He would just like make up some story. And it clicked for me. That's what she had been doing throughout the entire time I knew her in junior high and high school, was just like making bullshit up, just making up stories. And I was like, okay, so there really are people in the world like this who are pathological liars. And it's very bizarre. And like if you drill down on their stories, they don't hold up, you know? And that's what's going on with Chantel. People should ask her, why wasn't there any food? Does he stay somewhere else? Does he not eat? Like, how did how did you arrive to your apartment and there was no food, right? Like, these are simple questions of how did this happen? I'm sick of people who just fucking make shit up. I do not believe that my ex boyfriend is actually trying to pursue a divorce. I think he said that just to be able to talk to me again because he enjoys talking to me late at night and watching me fall asleep, which is kind of cute, I guess, but not if it's under false pretenses, right? It's Saturday. It's quite clear. There's a blue sky out. It's very beautiful today. And I'm going to clean myself up and maybe go out and do something. If you haven't watched it, I did a cute little live stream on my actual birthday, which was Thursday, in which I had lunch at Olamendi's in Capistrano Beach. It's a little confusing the way the border works there. Like across the street, it's Doheny State Beach, but on the other side, it's Capistrano Beach. But it's also like part of Dana Point, not San Juan Capistrano. And then if you go down a little further, you get to the actual Capistrano Beach. Very confusing borders in that particular area. Um, but I have a cute little live stream that I did for my actual birthday on Thursday. And we had a lovely dinner last night, despite the fact that I will probably not go to that particular Buca de Beppo's ever again because it seems like they have high turnover and they were quite rude about my reservation. They were very rude about my reservation. Like, even if they felt like we didn't have enough people to be in that room, they should have, like, made other arrangements for us right away. Instead, we were waiting for over an hour to get seated and fed, you know? We were there from 6:30 to 10:30. 6:30 to 10:30. That's a mess. All right, happy Faturday, y'all. Let's see what comes out today. I'm not covering her bullshit story unless she fills in that gap. What were you doing in the airport for 7 hours, girlfriend?